Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't wanna miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats, you know that we gotta run it back. Whether on the field or the court, you know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.
Welcome to another edition of Live Wire Sports Media. And you know it is your host, Live Wire. Well, I could tell you this. The WNBA is one of the most entertaining and funniest places that you can be as a player, not as a player, but as a fan and as a content creator, whatever you want to call yourself. But make no mistake, when we hear all of these things about Caitlin Clark didn't do this, Caitlin Clark didn't move that, Caitlin Clark didn't bring the eyes to the W, we was already there. But guess what? They all move in their arenas. They all move into biggest stadiums. They all making preparation for when the Fever come to town. See, the thing about it is, started a couple of days ago. Well, with Sheila Johnson and the Washington Mystics, they moved from their little small arena, went and then move it to Baltimore, which they could have moved it to the Capital One Arena like they did last year, but where they set all the attendance records. But nevertheless, I guess they didn't want Caitlin Clark to capitalize on all of this success, since Sheila Johnson made her little rant a few months back when Caitlin Clark graced Time Life magazine. But nevertheless, then we had the sold out Carver Hawkeye Arena where Caitlin Clark played a college game at, and that sold out for the preseason game between the Brazil national team. Fast forward to today. We get the Chicago Sky, Chi-Town Barbie, against the Caitlin Clark effect. Finally do what was needed to be done personally and professionally, is removing your feelings out the way for money. Now, something that they could have done last year, Chicago and Indiana played at in Chicago, all the Chicago home games, even the infamous Barbie night, where I'm going to get to that. And I think Chicago beat them 3-1 in that series last year. But make no mistake, if they had moved them games to the United Center, now I don't know why they didn't move it to the United Center back then. Don't care. I'm not going to even dabble into that. But the fact of the matter is now, they are moving these two games, June 7th and July 27th, 3 p.m. That's a Sunday, Saturday, 8 o'clock at the United Center. United Center is one of the largest stadiums in the NBA, one of the largest in the NBA. The fact of the matter is that it holds over 20,000 or 23,000 capacity. Now, we've seen that the Indiana Fever did that with the Capital One Arena, I think, over 20,000 last year. So to have these two games, because they play 5 games, 3 of them in Indiana, which we already know they're going to sell out, and 2 in Chicago. So with that being said, the Me Too girl, Angel Reese, if you were so popular, why you could not get this done for all of your other games? Why it has to be the Indiana Fever? Because you do not move the needle, young lady. You don't. It's all Caitlin Clark moves the needle. Now, all the Chicago fans, they out there Yeah, they're trying to like, hey, don't let the Indiana Fever buy up all the tickets. It's gonna be too late because guess what? The Indiana Fever is going to be a Fever takeover in Chi-Town. It's going to be a Fever takeover, just like it was last year. No matter where the Indiana Fever go, it's going to be a takeover. Man, matter of fact is, June is my birthday month, but it will be the 7th. It will be from the 7th to it will be 13 days before my birthday. Now, could wait to do July. I could do June, or I could do the Indiana game. Well, nevertheless, but it just goes to show you, if you think about this, go back to the last time Caitlin Clark played the Chicago. The last game, it was Barbie night. The Indiana Fever blew them out. I think it was 100 and something to 81. Caitlin Clark had 31 points, career high, 4 rebounds, 12 assists, 8 for 14 from the field, 5 for 9 from 3-pointers, a plus 23. Yes, it was belt to ass in that game, destroying Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky on Barbie night. Matter of fact, there were so many fans of the Indiana Fever there that Caitlin Clark was literally signing autographs. Now, there was a clip about after the press conference that why the game wasn't in Chicago. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to what this clip was about.
Like, that's what it is, and if it's gonna help move the game forward, absolutely. Like, that's amazing. That's what it should be. Like, people could talk about it. I mean, yeah, I think it's, I mean, I saw the ticket prices. I guess the only thing is, like, I'm surprised we're not playing at the United Center. I thought that would have been really good for the game and really good for all the women's basketball fans in Chicago. So maybe there's a conflict of some sort that I don't know about. Obviously, that's a little above my pay grade. But we're excited, you know, one game at a time.
All right. So you heard Caitlin Clark say, and you think about that. This clip was back then. You know what I'm saying? This clip was back then because the fact of the matter is that now we're here, and now that they want to capitalize on the Caitlin Clark effect, goes to show you that Angel Reese don't have the cliche that she thinks she has. Now, a little tad bit information came out today about other games that has been changed. We already know Chicago and Indiana at the United Center. Now, don't know how true it is because I haven't heard anything about it. Say that, excuse me, said that the Las Vegas Aces, I'm about to say Las Vegas Raiders. They wish they did play it in a football field, a football stadium. The Las Vegas Aces, 2 games in Chicago. They play at T-Mobile Arena, and they got 1 game with Indiana at T-Mobile Arena, and they have Minnesota Lynx at the T-Mobile Arena. So I guess now, it's crazy because the fact of the matter is this, guys. Caitlin Clark made all of this happen. She made these teams up their game. They made these owners who own these teams, who made these owners of these teams say, look, if we're going to garner more fans or we're going to have more eyes on this game, we got to do what everybody else doing. We know Indiana is the America's team, but we got to make sure that we bring more eyes to the game. If it's not just Indiana, okay, let's do this. Matter of fact, for the Aces to do this for 3 teams goes to show you, hey, we need to capitalize a little bit larger. We need to bring out, because this quote unquote, they say they sell out their little arena that they are in, you know, but at the same time, you got to think about this. You got to think about this. New York, I think what the Liberty plays in the Barclays Center. You know what I'm saying? Last year you had Connecticut. Connecticut could have moved some of their games as well. You had well, you got L.A. You know, and then you got all of these other teams. You know, Atlanta moved their game last year for the Indiana Fever. A lot of these teams is going to stop moving their games for the Indiana Fever. This is not only going to be the only schedule change. You're gonna see this throughout the whole season, before the season, whatever the case may be, that they moving these games for the Fever, and it could be for other teams. But let's not get it twisted. This is all because Caitlin Clark. This would never ever happen if Caitlin Clark was not in the league. Let's be honest about it. Let's not sugarcoat it. We already know, you know. So no matter how you look at it, nobody else is going to be able to get this the way it's like Caitlin Clark has. And she's putting these teams and she putting this league on notice. She making sure that, hey, you know, hey, when we come to town, it's like a traveling band. You got to see them. It's must see. So with that being said, I love that these teams are being put on alert now that they can get more coverage, because it's going to be one of the things that you got to look at throughout the season. You got to think out viewership is going to be higher. Record-breaking sellout crowds is going to be higher. More money that's going to come in. And see, why not do this all season for all of your games? You know, as long as it's not interfering with hockey and, you know, certain concerts and the NBA playoffs. If it's not interfering in that, move majority of your games to these arenas, these venues. Because the fact of the matter is that you coming into a new CBA and you need to generate more money so you could be able to offset some of the debt that you owe the NBA. It's only smart marketing and business. It's not about at the end of the day, people have to learn how to get their feelings out of all when it comes down to business. Everything in life is like a business transaction. Like, you have to understand that when you have a chance to garner so much money for your team, to be able to get better facilities, better accommodations, better you look at what, you know, you're going to have 2 more expansion teams coming next year. The more money you could generate, the more you could tap into the market and add more teams, the more you could expand and have more attention to the eyes. Long as they could get rid of the nonsense. That's the only thing I suggest. They get rid of the nonsense. That's to me is the most important part. You are able to generate a lot of revenue to help offset some of the debt that you owe the NBA. Because the fact of the matter is that none of this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for Caitlin Clark. And I'm going to stick to that. You got to understand what she's about. You got to understand, you know, and I don't know when tickets will be going on sale. I think actually tickets go on sale for them 2 Chicago games March the 11th. So I guarantee you by that time, it's going to be sold. Them tickets going to be sell out so fast. And just think about this. I'm waiting to hear Angel Reese response to this. I want to hear her response. I want to hear how much she's going to take credit of this, because I'm sure she's going to be like, oh, see, well, we got this move and all of that and all of this other stuff. So I don't buy it. I don't see it. So it's crazy. But anyway, tell me what you think. A, can we have another upset in Barbie night? But hey, if you enjoyed the last Barbie night self-destruction by the Chicago Sky getting blown out of their home, hey, here's a recap.
Game of the season. And an enemy territory gets this kind of salute as she exits the game.
Yep. Barbie night was destroyed by Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever. And it's going to be one of the best seasons yet to come. Because guess what? Now that we got Chicago move both of their games and we already know what Indiana's going to be about, hey, now the rest is up to everybody else to see what they could do and to move this along. Because, hey, I could tell you this. A lot of teams are going to be moving to bigger venues in spite of what they got going on. So anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Until the next episode. I do want to say this. I do want to say this before I sign off because it's funny to me. I was reading a lot of stuff on X today, and it's funny how people just sits back and just say, hey, you know, Caitlin Clark wouldn't have been Caitlin Clark without the ring gesture with Angel Reese. We already know that Angel Reese is tying herself to everything Caitlin Clark. Let's quit. Yeah, Angel Reese is her own person or her own talent, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, you got to look at this from this standpoint. How successful would she be if Caitlin Clark was not in the league? That's a question I'm going to leave to y'all. Leave your comments below. Till the next episode, Live Wire Sports, and I'm out.
Hey, so amazing. You see how they playing? Live Wire, it's all about sports and entertainment. You don't want to miss it, so official like you never seen. Keep it going till the whistle blowing from the referee. Everything from highlights and stats. You know that we gotta run it back, whether on the field or the court. You know that this is where it's at. Subscribe, no delaying. This is Live Wire, sports and entertainment. Let's go.